Going to be following in behind this, already spilling outside towards E-Box, where Rain is putting them down with a bit of pain. Twist on top of that, showing just why he's one of those most exciting prospects from NA. Missing a few shots there does afford them the luxury of going for a post plant, and Karrigan's trying to get up close with his USP. Player advantage now turns into a two-player advantage, and it's definitely faring in favor of FaZe. D-Hat and Snappy, Yadane and Paul, the last two members standing with a P250 in D-Hat's hands, and he removes the head of Twist. Bomb planted for Pop Dog, but FaZe have cleaned it up. ENCE is going to try and give them a couple more breaths of oxygen, but now, with the smokes clearing, Dotto's got to do a lot of work with this MAC-10. He's been tagged down, he's been weakened, and now Rain goes in for the peek, but Dotto takes his head off.
Yeah, that kill kind of alleviates all the pressure they were feeling. And also the bomb's not committed yet. They could still pivot it if they feel they need to. Dotto, with the expendable MAC-10, is able to try to keep getting information in space, see if he can build a safety net for a team to come in and plant the bomb. But unfortunately for him, he's been traded 2 for 1. That leaves Spinks alone. Yes, he does have the AK
to defend the site. He's actually just stuck on the site itself, up close. This is where the glow should shine, but a lot of time has already ticked away. They need to get on the site, and in doing so, in amongst all this chaos, maybe Spinks can clutch it. There's the first spray down, needs to get the second. The full diffuser's coming through, runs out of ammunition, switches to the block. He's missing everything. Pull the knife out, man. Spinks, not like this. The
FaZe are still well set up to victory, but ENCE have an opening now, and that just adds to it.
That opening has been kicked wide and abruptly by D-Hat. 25 seconds. Now the rest of the troops have congregated in. Brokey 1-for-1 trade. A lot of damage to Spinks, who's been finished off. The MP9 does its job. 15 seconds. D-Hat has them both down in Pop Dog. He may not know that both players are here. You can see he's looking towards Connector as a parting gift of a dink from Rain's MP9 now goes in. Lack of utility with a minute plus on the clock, so they will maneuver their way and erupt out onto the site. coldzera, though, is the man for the job. He blockades with 2 kills, and a lot of damage with the scout is being inflicted from Brokey. Going to be pushed from the side, but not before he silences Alu. It's another scrappy one. It's another round where maybe ENCE can sneak and slither their way out of the site and potentially to a third. But Twist's making moves in, and the Canadian will pounce. Aim on point and true to deliver the frag. He spots the second, but only 3 smokes left, and not many flashes either, right. Dust. They are lacking on utility.
Sure, but the other side of the coin, Vince, is now that FaZe won a clean round, they have the money to have utility to slow down fast pushes with the smokes and incendiaries, which is forcing ENCE to play a little bit more careful. But they are still trying to explode in this inner yard, and they're actually making some progress, and now D-How is on pretty big flank in the back halls. This could get dangerous.
That's a dirty little off angle with the smoke as well, and D-Hat is flanking Brokey, who's finally got an open, takes him down. It looked like D-Hat was about to rip this round open and close it off the FaZe, but instead, FaZe stand tall, and it's that man.
That very constricting forward angle style of defense. Oh my, it just gets worse with that. And oh, he can't even be traded by Dotto. That is pivotal for FaZe that Cold's done that.
Great news across the board on the CTs. D-Hat has to try and dig them out this ditch, but Karrigan just...
You would really hope so, because at that point, it would basically equate the amount of rounds ENCE have won with weapons versus rounds with just pistols like this. But it does seem like coldzera and Twist are, you know, bringing us back to sanity with those couple of kills, getting the man advantage for FaZe. Good incendiary here towards the bomb train, gonna flush these post-plant position players out into awkward space, allowing them to be reaped by Cold, who just continues to tee off with that AK, leaving Snappy all alone with the Tech 9 here in the Brown Halls.
No more lead to bank off the wall. He is living on borrowed time, and coldzera has... Smoke has forced away Karrigan, but they may have to push out into him. He's on 13 kills at the moment, and it's coming head-to-head with Snappy, who takes his head clean off. Brokey gets one in return. A weakened Spinks has to pull the plug and get out of there, but the player advantage is in favor of ENCE, and now the grenade's starting to rain onto the site. Molly's to the top of train, forcing away some of these angles. There's still 50 seconds to play with. That flick from Brokey to be cognizant. He has to do his due diligence before he flicks in for another one, and Snappy, his next victim. He is a predator stalking this round. 30 seconds to play with, flash up and over, and a low Spinks has to try and somehow carve a path through the end of this round. Spinks now coming in, 17 HP left, and he goes down.
This map. So we are going to see some challenges go over towards Ivy.
2-for-1 trade. FaZe do take the advantage, and that hammer in the hands of Carrigan, as he is the puppet master right now, and he's pulling all the strings, and he's also pulling out a great performance for himself, by the way. Leading by example. Spinks, excellent headshot onto coldzera, gives them a chance into the round. They still have control over the bomb, though, FaZe, and they're looking to try and spill out onto A.
Yeah, it seems like that is the final destination here, as Twist is getting backstabbed, though, but he flicks the 180 for a dink onto D-How, forcing him into the back calls. Twist trades up to the USP, and now they start spilling out onto the site. Snappy being challenged over here in the back. Twist will finish him off. Carrigan finds D-How, and now it's all on Spinks.
Already 1 kill to his name, and he's put a second in as well. Both players are very low. Brokey's on 1 HP and Twist's on 59. Now, ammunition may start to be a bit of a problem. Only 14 bullets left, putting them down, and nearly flicks to the head of... Don't advise it, definitely don't. Oh, those grenades, though, are looking good. And ENCE, out of the back of a buy with plenty of augs and an AWP, have sustained 1 casualty in the form of Spink, smoke, mollies, flashes, everything being tossed onto A side as this war ensues. ENCE fighting down. They know the importance to try and remedy the situation. The spiraling downward trend has continued, and it's the Canadian that tries to just twist the knife in their back with his AK, down to 5 bullets. But coldzera steps up alongside Twists, and that has been a far cry from their performances against the likes of Vitality. It's been a bit of a dud so far, I think it's safe to say. Twist, though, is just going to put this off as fast as possible, administer the mercy across to ENCE, who are floating away into the nether. It's all on Dotto with a scout in hand, and as much as he's doing damage and landing some frags, it feels like just a drop in the bucket, and they will be down. On a HE toss down, does a little bit of damage, actually a lot more than a little bit, nearly 100 damage just by itself. Softens up so many of these Ts, and now they can be pivoted into. Spinks posted the back of the site, already with 1, and putting that aim to use for 2. Runs out of ammunition, should be going down, but Snappy has his back covered, and the damage has been done. It's a close-out deal, to be honest, from Asses. MP9 also tossed in the mix with no utility really to speak of, and no kits either. Twist with the FAMAS just runs straight out and peels back 2 heads. And it's a third on top of it, and the blink of an eye, the snap of the fingers, Twist has taken the site, and ENCE are forced to save again.
Territory is the other thing. So now ENCE have no clue what's going on over at middle. They're trying to kind of keep an eye on it with Alu's AWP. And Spinks has that boosted position and does find his man before going down, but now they know where he is. They have him isolated. A great flash comes in, but Rain threw it anyway, finds Spinks.
It's not... Well, I was going to say last line of defense, but he has now been taken down as Rain puts the sledgehammer to use. Host plant comes into effect. Alu hasn't really been given any chances in this round, but they're still up close. And with their economy, with the situation as grim as it currently stands, they may feel compelled to try and go in. Desperation may be creeping in for the Finns and the pole, as Alu is now all alone. Last man standing. And
so it's really going to come down to what Rain wants to do and what he can find.
Oh, it feels like Alu's completely screwed unless timing gets the better of Rain, which it won't. You know, splatters Alu from behind. D-Han now does at least get 1 in return, and it does definitely give him a chance, a fighting chance, but his teammates not moved yet. They're not even sure as to whether this is a B or an A hit, so D-Ha's all alone. He just catches a glimpse of the player pushing into pit and takes his head off, and now D-Ha has every chance of clutching this round out, but he has been...
And it's to have to hold their ground on both ends, and it gives Kerrigan a chance in the 1v1.
The timing may work against them because Spinks took so long. Try and pivot their way back around. Another smoke has now been tossed in, but Twist's position is so powerful, and he finishes off what Rain started down middle in that opening trade. There are still 2 players on the A side, including D-Ha, who's just hit a vein of form. But he's going to be called upon multiple more times, and Carrigan is actually wrapping around the back of B in the amongst all of this action and chaos, and maybe try and deal with any rotational player. In doing so, it allows the Sanctuary of FaZe to rotate the bomb all the way across to B, and Snappy only has a UMP to his side. He has to try and hold this all alone. 13 seconds to play with, though. If he can pull out the rabbit out of the hat and just spray down a couple players, it could be good enough as he's looking to go for that wide swing. 5 seconds to play with, but Brokey is checking his angles, and even though Diha has splatted Brokey afterwards, the bomb gets planted down, and a 3-on-2 comes up with Otto on exceptionally low HP. Surely ENCE are about to succumb again, and there's a flank player coming around the back as well, by the way. coldzera is making moves all the way around CT side. They need kills right now. If ENCE are going to have any chance of clutching this, Diha or Dotto have got to go massive. They're missing too many bullets, and they're both going to get caught.
For FaZe and ENCE staying at 2 because their economy is absolutely in tatters, and Brokey's already taken one off the board. Snappy tucked into the corner at the sandbags, trying to hold his ground. He's good for 1, but that's going to be all, and that's not good enough as FaZe are just tearing ENCE apart all across the map, Vince.
It feels like ENCE are out of ideas. Like, this just seems like a team that has run out of steam. They can't keep the pace with FaZe. They're just being, as you said, outmaneuvered at every single turn, and the reason I'm not even really talking about...
If FaZe commit to middle, this might be a little bit tough.
Hopefully ENCE can get it done, but of course they check the angles. There's a perfect flashbang tossed out there. There was no secondary player playing anti-flash and a Molotov alongside it, so Diha was just dangled on the end of a rod and twist nowhere and was just an absolute... He's not even been required this game. He's 8 kills. Like, he doesn't need to do anything. Karrigan straight up gets the entry, instantly retorted on, but that's still going to favor FaZe.
Yeah, absolutely. There is some banana control there here from ENCE, as we do see Spinks getting very aggressive with the MP9, so that could be a huge factor in their favor. He does take Brokey down. Twist actually only good for 1 this time around, which has been a rarity. And so hold the phone. There is a chance for ENCE in this final round to half, though. Cold has to find 1v2. Can't get past the seconds.
And it is going to be pushing straight towards the A site. Brokey is waiting. Nades are put down with a ton of bullets behind them. And now Snappy, although he can...
And a few Deagles. A couple players have already had some health taken away. FaZe claiming some control of top banana, and they will push forward with the MP9 and the Nova, and they will reign supreme. A 3-2 trade. FaZe now up. Some challenges over here at middle with Twist, but they fall back off of it.
Well, Brokey
spot him.
Yeah, pushing down banana. He knows exactly what's coming up. He keeps going. They hear the footsteps, and that nearly gets his life across to ENCE. That could have been a 2v2, but instead the bomb's been spilled down. Dotto with 91 HP, with only 2 kills to his name, would have to go above and beyond and low his...
They could really do whatever they want at this point.
Yeah, taking some liberties. Hopefully it doesn't get into complacency, but Rain shows it's completely worth the pickup as he goes farming for frags with the Nova. Finally is silenced. The damage has been inflicted, although ENCE did bounce back with another kill on coldzera, and Brokey's been tagged down. This puts a bit more of the emphasis on Karrigan's M4, but if we've seen anything so far today, it's that he's up to the task and he passes it again. They want to put this one down real quick. To be devil's advocate, though, if they do concede this, they've put a lot of money into the round, so maybe there's a way back forward. But of course, Brokey shows that the triple op setup can't be very much a success as he picks up the first play. It's going to be Diha. Lack of utility as they look to try and push onto the site, and Dotto's been finished off next, and Brokey goes in again. The House of Cards is coming down, trying to get the no-scope at the end, being cheeky, but Alu is being overwhelmed. There's players behind him, in front of him, and at least he gets a kill. He's about to get fragged by Karrigan, or perhaps not. Alu's still in with a chance in this round. He's being pushed down from another player down towards middle, who may get the drop on him, and there is coldzera.